Hello, Speed Gaming 5. We're here to bring you Season 4 of the ALTTPR League. We are in Week 6. This is Open Mode. I am Mogliacci, and I'm joined here by my good buddy, Homemade Beer. First off, Beer, GG's on your win today.
Hey, thanks, Moogle. How are you doing today?
I'm good. And secondly, thank you for joining me for this. At least it'll be a clown fiesta on the right-hand side of the screen. I don't know about the left, but based on what my teammate Julo Ninja has in store for us for the opening, I'm a little scared.
I mean, we can only get so excited, right?
I know, right?
Anyone who knows Julo Ninja knows how he likes to play, and it's the kind of thing that you watch and wonder, how he does so well, but he does. So
yeah, it's that unpredictable nature it's hard to wrap your head around, but it works. So
yeah,
I'm glad to have him on my team.
yeah, he's a fun guy to race. Not someone you necessarily want to race against in kind of a serious setting like this, because you don't want to meta him for sure.
Right. And James FNX on the left-hand side representing the Immortals, Julo's old team, actually. So this should be a fun one. Really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'd almost forgot about that, actually.
But yeah, open mode. So, the most, let's say, vanilla outside of, the standard escape start that we have. Both runners can start at either Sanctuary or Link's House and kind of go wherever they want.
So what do you think about open mode?
It's not my most fun mode, only because it's so volatile, and both runners starting at Link's House and getting Hammer.
Very nice.
Interesting.
I've seen a lot of trash hammer seeds lately, so it's nice to start off with a hammer.
Yeah, and map check, getting a pendant Eastern, Red Crystal, and Desert, I believe. And Julo doing what he described to me before the race. Choosing to start at Dam, and James getting the 8 bomb drop from the tier 1 tree pull. Very nice.
Nice bomb drop.
Yeah. So when you get a weapon like this, do you tend to just kind of jump into escape right away and take care of it?
Oh man, that's a tough call. Probably. Open mode's a tough one for me. It's not what I'm very good at. It's a lot of volatility, like you said. And I think we've seen now 350 rupee drops.
Yeah. What do you usually start with? Do you use Sank starter or?
Yeah, usually the last few open seeds I've played, which is once a month or so lately. Oh, nice ether. Very few. I don't play it very often, but the last few I've played got burned by Uncle, so I've been starting with Uncle lately. But yeah, seeing some bombs. Is this the strat that Julo intended?
Yeah, we'll see if he skips mini Moldorm Cave. Okay, so he doesn't, probably because he has a weapon. So he told me that he was going to do Dam into Hobo. So we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
That's what, and, instantly, looking kind of stupid.
Yeah, James with a more traditional route and finding some nice tree pulls, bombs and arrows with the ammo tree pulls today. Gets a nice red cane, ether,
yeah.
A lot of trackable items early on.
Yeah, and the nice thing is the trackable items, but not necessarily leading to progression, so things that you won't have to look for later, which is nice.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Julo finds flippers, and James finds a glove. Okay. So we need a Moon Pearl for Dark World.
Yeah.
We're only 2 minutes in. It's fine.
Yeah, I wonder if if James ends up finding it in like Blind's Hut or the Well, does he just go straight into the Dark World?
That's a tough one. I don't know. I like to clean up Sphere 1, personally. What do you think about super early Dark World plays in open mode?
It depends. If it was Mitts, I could see it, because you don't have to walk all the way around. But yeah, I personally like to do a little bit of cleanup as well, like Saha's and easy 3 checks. Kind of doing Dam into mini Moldorms, nice set of checks. So yeah, James continuing with that traditional route.
Yeah, I definitely like to know the full picture of what the seed's trying to tell you what to do. And find a sword. Another sword.
The Quake Medallion.
Quake medallion. Okay. This is a pretty front-loaded seed. So this is all Sphere 1 checks, I think, so far.
Yeah, Julo did get the flippers though out of mini. Where is he going now? So he's not doing
Looks like
hobo.
cat play. Yeah. Oh man, team meeting.
I know. I wonder how many times we're going to call it the team meetings today. And a bow.
Yeah, too bad Julo won't get that moon pearl on hobo. So
Last locating hobo.
last locating. Yep.
Yeah, I never would have expected Julo to do that. Oh, there's the moon pearl. There we go.
Oh
And
my
boots.
goodness, Julo, please. Way to last location boots. That's one of his plays, right? He likes last location in Kakariko.
I think it depends on the things that he finds. To be honest, I am a little surprised that he's here already. Given the fact that he got the glove here. He was 2 items from Dark World access, so usually he'll like to leave CAC till later. But James finding all the goods in Kakariko continues down towards the library. I wonder what he'll be doing after this.
Yeah, it's interesting too. We did see a tree pull from James, which gave him arrows, which means that was actually a tier 3. So he was able to kill 4 enemies without getting hit. As we saw, the tier 2 tree pull was actually 80 rupee, the 20 rupee drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely saw a seed, at least one earlier this week in open mode that had everything but 1 or 2 items before Dark World. So pretty terrifying types of seeds to race. You end up realizing, like, I only have to find like 1 thing, and I have literally the entire Dark World to look for it.
Right. So. Yeah. It can turn into like a 110 seed or a 140 seed, and
yeah,
what do you end up skipping? What are the plays that you try to make?
Yeah, and that was a nice spin speed from James, saving time.
James going back into Kakariko. Looks like he's going to jump into the Dark World. Yeah.
It's actually not too bad of a play. You get a bit of pendant crystal information, get to clean up Village of Outcast Thieves Town, everyone's favorite.
Yeah, totally reasonable play. He could have stayed and quit and done the Hype Cave strat, but I think while you're here, it makes sense, considering he hasn't done any of the South Shore either.
Yeah, definitely. I bet both runners are excited and terrified at the same time, being Dark World plus boots 6 minutes in.
Definitely.
So, okay, what do you check Skull Woods here on this route? Do you do Skull Woods, Thieves Town, Village of Outcast, and all that stuff, or? Oh, Thieves Town's a pendant. Okay, now what do you do?
I just do the village in the front of Thieves Town with that kind of pendant crystal layout, personally. You hold off on Skull Woods until a little bit later. I can see why you do it here, though, without mitts. Like, if you push Skull Woods until a little bit later, and, when you have the mitts, it's a lot easier to get back to, instead of doing that long walk around. Ooh, and James has to be careful here. Only on 3 hearts so early in the seed can be a little scary going in the Dark World under the 7-minute mark.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is you last location your mitts in Skull Woods and then figure out what to do next, right? Okay,
you got it. Like, there's so much to do. You have all of the Sphere 0, Sphere 1 checks, whatever you want to call them, to do. You can do the Hype Cave into Dig Game type of route. There's so many easy checks that to spend a lot of time on 2 items in Skull Woods. It's just, for me personally, it's not something I think I would do right away.
Well, what about Hobo?
Hobo is not something I would do right away either. And luckily we haven't seen it yet, so...
Yeah, Julo's not there, so... It seems like you were given some bad information before
I know,
the race.
Yeah. Directly from the source. So
Is
Jules
that
gonna
all
need to
three
do a map
medallions?
check here. Yeah, it is. Pretty wild.
It's actually nice. No medallion hunt is actually always nice.
Yeah, for sure. And Swamp Palace is a crystal, so we'll end up seeing Hookshot this seed too. Won't need to see a Moldorm bounce hover type of situation, which is good.
Oh, another sword. Yeah, I think James found 3 small keys, so that leaves the big key and an item in the back, which is always kind of an annoying layout. It's nice to find only 2 small keys in the front of Skullwood, so you know that Moth is guaranteed an item if you end up having to go back there, but in this case, I don't know, it is a crystal, yeah, so I have to do it. Julo doing a second
James,
map check.
hopefully that's the last one. James doing some scouting, nothing on Bumper Ledge, making his way into the village now. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to complete Thieves Town. I would guess not, given the
Oh, wow. Okay, game.
The mitts. Sub 10-minute mitts. This is turning
hammer.
out to be a good seed. Yeah.
Okay, so what are we last locationing today? That's always something I think about, like a little bit early on. Like, okay, what are we going to have to be looking for? Seems like Hookshot's a good candidate. Ice Rod is pretty typical with Crystal TR.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I would guess Hookshot or Ice Rod. I think Mirror would be a nice one. That getting to go mode swamp or something late would be nice for the runners here. But
yeah,
you're probably right.
That's a good point. Yeah, there's always something that when you watch these races, it's pretty easy to say, oh, one of the runners hasn't found like a hammer. That's going to put him really behind. But then when you find out later, as you get further into the seed, that the hammer is not only not required for progression, then like last locationing hammer is not a terrible thing sometimes.
Right. Because it locks so much, right?
Yeah, totally.
And something like Mirror would do the same type of thing where you don't have those annoying mirror checks. You don't have Swamp Palace that you're wasting time in. Julo doing some cleanup. James doing the more thorough type of route, especially after getting those mitts. I wonder if he's going to pick up the Smiths after doing Dig Game. Probably,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think he's touched... Did he? Oh, that's right. Julo did Dig Game. Yeah, I don't think he's touched Thieves Town, though.
I don't think so. I didn't see him go in there. But I could have missed it.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because, if anyone just joining us, Julo got the flippers out of Mini Moldorm Cave, and James got everything in Kakariko and decided to go to the Dark World and found the mitts immediately after, and Bombos.
Yeah, and ended up getting lucky with his first sword, but will be James' second or third sword in the Ice Rod Cave. So Julo having the sword advantage as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't remember, Blue Cane I think might have been in there as well, in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, it was somewhere in the very early checks.
So I just realized too, we found Bombos in the front of Skullwoods, right?
Yes, we did.
What do you think about Bombos locking Fire Rod in the seed? Do you think, can you see that as a possibility?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, given the current item loadout, like James, if he wanted to, he could go into Ice Palace. On 4 Arts, Green Mail is, not something I'd be fond of doing at this point. But yeah, it's certainly something that can happen. I think you're of the opinion that Bombos tends to lock Fire Rod and vice versa, right?
I think I am too much of that opinion, yeah. It was very clear earlier, but... No, it's one of those things, though, like if that were the case in this seed today, then, a double dip, in quotes, of Skullwoods would be required.
Yeah.
Due to Bombos being in there, but front of Skullwoods is kind of overworld, right?
Oh yeah. I think a lot of people would consider that overworld. It's kind of like Eastern Palace, right? You have immediate access to it once you start the game, and I know there's some people who tend to make that play early. Jula being one of them.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of which, I'm kind of looking at the trackers and thinking things through right now on the seed. And if we got a flute and a lamp, Pet is in logic already.
Don't say stuff like that. Too early for that.
Just thinking about that. That's all. Speaking of which, there's a flute.
Ooh.
Wow, there's a mirror. Okay.
A couple of good finds
Jula's
there
going.
simultaneously. Yeah, this is an interesting play.
I think he heard me.
Julo making the Thieves Town play before getting the mids out of 60 shaped owls. Like if he ends up clearing the village, I don't know if he does this play. Especially, he would get the flute, but I don't know if you continue on in Thieves Town if you have the mids as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm curious as to what James's next play is. Getting that mirror doesn't put a ton of stuff into logic for him yet. What it does though is it actually makes the south, just routing in the south world, easy because he can do mini Molar Cave, he can do a Hype Cave, or no, he just did Hype Cave, never mind.
Yeah. It helps him. Well, it doesn't really help him with the Smith turn in. He can go back to the Dark World before turning in the Smith to make purple chest easier. And okay, that's a nice rod.
Scary. Yeah.
Okay.
What scares me about that is I can see James going into Thieves Town, finding that flute, and then dipping.
Yeah,
that's a scary rod.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that, from our perspective, that depending on how these runners run, it's only 15 minutes in, but
it's crazy, right?
We only need the fire rod for go mode. Oh, and the hook shot, but well, yeah. If there's something else in Thieves Town that holds up a lot of other things, that's the best case scenario, absolutely, for James. And he might go in still, though. We don't know yet.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's still crazy early, and there's a lot that we haven't seen yet from these runners. James making the south, so it looks like he's going to go into the dark world. This might be a K45 play into.
Oh, there's our lamp.
Lamp. So you have a fire source now too.
What the heck? So just get your fire rod off of head, and we're done, right?
Right. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, we said fire rod and hook shot. Yeah.
So James going to the pyramid instead. This is probably pyramid catfish play.
Well, the lamp doesn't hard lock anything, so we'll have to see.
Unless the fire rod's on Landmo or something.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or in Hera Basement, which we all love.
Always. Yeah, so you called a early clown show from Julian and Just Side. I feel like that's what we're getting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little, miffed he lied to me about the hobo play, but happy he didn't make it because it's the hobo play.
Because the fire rod's on hobo, and you wouldn't want it to have too much too early, right?
Yeah, exactly. James making the play into the front of Escape. If there's something here, it actually would be fairly good for him. Because I can see Julo getting the mirror relatively soon. And, at that point, there's so much of the world that's open to him that it could take him a while to come to a place like the front of Escape.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, and the only thing that he'll be missing, well, it depends if he dips Skullwoods. Looks like he will, so he will be getting his Bombos as well. And he knows now he could complete Mire, the other pendant, in Logic.
Well, once he gets the Bombos, he will, but yeah.
Oh, right. And Eastern as well. Imagine a seed like this. It's like a ped seed where, 30 minutes in, you're pulling the ped for your go mode. How dumb would that actually be, right?
Oh man. Yeah, not sure I've seen too many of those outside of spoiler modes.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, James going through the front of escape, not finding anything in the first check yet. First 2 checks. Yeah, with this Master Sword, it's a little annoying because it does the same damage as Fighter Sword when you slash on the guard. Always thought that was kind of weird. 2 spins or 8 slashes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with arrows it would have been 4 arrows, so probably a little bit faster, but...
Yeah, sounds right, yeah. Or 2 hammer hits or something.
Yeah. James going to Dark Cross. Imagine he'll mirror out of here and then kind of continue the path on the Catfish.
He got the key. Oh, he already did the back with glove. Duh. Yep.
Yeah, he took the Smith down there, if I remember correctly.
Let's see. This is Dark Cross. Okay. Yeah. There's a nice trick to this, I think. I don't know if you know, if you bonk off the bottom torch.
Yep.
Yeah. That's always a really nice trick. I don't remember where I learned it, but I'm like, oh, that's really cool because then it puts you right with the chest. Okay. Finding a little bit more cash.
And saving wits out, starting at Link's house. So this may actually be the Mini Moldorm cave play. 20 minutes in checking Mini Moldorm.
Right. I was like, yeah, what's he missing here? Oh yeah, South Shore.
Yeah. So Julio's going to get his mirror. I can't remember if he activated the flute yet. If not, he'll do this. He'll do that right after. And I think it's like, do you end up making the play to Mire or to the mountain?
Oh man, I don't know. I think, what can he do? Checking Mire, I think, is reasonable. Yeah. He can clear desert. Though.
He can clear Ice Palace. Like, there's so much that he can do.
The thing is, though, we haven't... Well, I guess Thieves Town had the money so far, but dungeon-wise, we haven't seen a lot of stuff yet. If you dive into dungeons too early, sometimes there's, certain seeds, like you end up full clearing every single dungeon, which have nothing, when all you had to do was just kind of clean up overworld. There's a lot of, I don't know, contention, if you call it. Like, different runners have different strategies, and a lot of times runners have strategies of just cleaning up as much overworld as possible before going all in on dungeons.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think, at least at this stage, you probably do a little bit of the easy overworld check. So yeah, Julo going into the Mire area, clearing desert will, you don't really get too much of a time save by go moding desert, for instance. So that could be something that he clears, along with the Mire shed stuff. Outside of that, I think it's probably, doing the mountain. You get, when you combo in the dark and light death mountain, you get so many checks out of that I think on a per minute basis, you're probably fine to do something like that. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I think like in this scenario, literally the only way to get burned by that. Oh, there's the fire rod. Never mind. I was going to say something that now is irrelevant. I was going to say if fire rod's in Hookshot Cave, but here we are.
So we just need a hookshot. Is that it?
Yeah, so when do you clean up all your pendants to go get the hookshot off pedestal?
Once you find the book?
Oh, there's a powder too. Oh my god. Why go to dungeons at all?
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a pretty fast seed. If Swamp was a crystal or a pendant, excuse me, can you imagine what kind of time we'd see in something like this?
Oh man.
If these runners had a Moldorm.
Yeah, so this is a crazy seed.
Yeah, James doing a couple of checks we haven't seen yet. Gets the money before Zora. Always feels good when you're in Waterfall Ferry and you get a payout like that. As well as the half magic. I'm never going to turn that down.
Yeah, Julo grabbing the key out of Big Chest there. It's kind of an interesting play. Don't know if maybe he didn't realize that was a key or something. I don't know why you would go grab that key before doing the boss instead of just doing the boss first, and then if there's nothing and you still want the second item in desert, getting the key and then doing it. I don't know.
Asking me to explain the logic behind whatever Julo's thinking doesn't make any sense. So. And James not getting anything from Zora, just 10 arrows. We'll see where he goes next. Starting at Sanctuary, so this could either be a mountain play or back into the Dark World.
You know, I just realized too. I had kind of forgotten what we'd seen from the two runners, that James never went into Thieves Town at all, where the flute and the lamp are both logical implications for Death Mountain here.
Well, the flute, lamp, and the ice rod. So
right, and the ice rod. Can't forget the ice rod.
Yeah, so that's getting that flute. I could see him leaving Thieves Town right away. It being a pendant, because that gives him that logical access to the mountain. So if like Hookshot ends up being here, it just like opens up more of those things that he could do logically.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I can catch it here. I was gonna say Julo taking down Lanmos for his first crystal. Did he got a map? Okay, he got a map off of the boss, so has to go back and get the right side. So what do I know? Julo being smart, grabbing the key early, knowing he has to do right side after. So just 10 arrows from the old man. If that was the hook shot, that'd be pretty wild. So, from what we know as viewers here, we're only looking for the hook shot. So we have about 100 checks left to find it. So let's see. Yeah, which one of these runners gets it first? But we all know it's on green pendant, right?
Or pedestal, like you've been saying.
I don't want to believe that. I mean, but maybe. But we know in this case, though, that Hookshot is not logically blocking anything except for Swamp Palace and Moldorm 2, so...
Yeah, I guess technically it could be locking Cold Stare.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
But not that it would hold anybody back. If anything, it might... Like, if Julo, for instance, were to go into Ice Palace, he might know right away whether or not it's in there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for all the plays that you do see Julo make, like he does, pay attention to certain things like Ice Palace key logic, for example.
Yeah. James clearing Hera without the hook shot, so he's not able to Hera pop because it doesn't have the hook shot. Basically making kind of the linear play through the mountain, with that mirror, just gonna kind of hit up all the checks on the way. So get his crystal off of Moldorm. Hopefully he doesn't need to get anything out of the basement and can just continue on to the east side.
Yeah, this will be a nice quick clear. Finding an armor, it's always nice. Considering how we started the seed with 3 Heart Dark World at 6 minutes?
Yeah, he immediately got hit by that enemy in Skull Woods, and it was getting a little scary there.
Was that the second item we saw?
I haven't been keeping count.
Yeah, well, we at least saw one for sure in the big key, so...
And our wonderful tracker, Mindful Beast, telling us that there is still an item in the basement. So, unfortunately, James is not going to be able to get that because he doesn't have his lamp or his fire rod yet. So,
both locked by doing Pendant Thieves Town, in fact.
Yeah. But hopefully it's just good news for him. Doesn't have to spend a minute making that check at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. So we know that for sure James will not be punished by being up here without the hookshot, since he won't find any progression in Hookshot Cave unless it's the first chest and it's the hookshot. But
in which case you can find it.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna get to see TR is Ether, which was in Sanctuary. Yeah, so if he does find the hookshot up here, then then we know where everything is on the seed. And depending on how James wants to route after this, what he needs to do is go and basically get to at least the Thieves Town attic to be able to beat this seed.
Yeah, getting that ice rod in the attic is obviously the big question here. Gonna have to play some catch up too. I think Julo has so many dungeons that he can clear, and it seems like he's made the decision now to just say, you know what, like screw the mountain, screw like some of these dense checks. Like I'm just gonna start clearing some dungeons now.
Yeah, it seems like he's like you said, he's done with the overworld for now. And I know that he does love Eastern Palace. Do you think we see him dip in here after Pod? That's his favorite dungeon, right?
It is. Given he has so much to clear, I would hope not. But you never know. So where does James need to find this hookshot to really, kind of, let's say, give him a boost?
Jeez, that's tough. Maybe left side swamp? No, I don't know. That'd be a play. He'd have to make that play though, which is, I don't know if it's worse than doing back to Thieves Town.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Mushroom. Really, the hard part is it's because it's the ice rod. Yeah.
Yeah, it being the ice rod makes it tough. Like he would really have to commit to Thieves Town before he goes in there to say, like, I'm full clearing this thing.
Yeah, exactly. If it's any other item in Thieves Town attic, it's a different story. It's mainly just because the ice rod is only needed for one thing in the entire game, and not having it before going to that area is incredibly punishing. So, but at least in the worst case scenario, with where it is, he will be able to save his portal in the situation where he doesn't actually end up getting the ice rod before going into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's true. And Julo finding the big key in the dark maze of Pod, so not really losing a ton of time to full clearing this dungeon. Pod happened to be kind of one of those, let's say, God Pod types of situations with the big key on the right side and small key or something over there. Like he could have just full, cleared it quickly. But
yeah, it's pretty much the worst Pod layout for Go mode possible, I think. All right, we're gonna see Hookshot Cave here.
Getting hit by the most annoying Barney in existence.
Yeah, it got out of his way that time. That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I really wanted the hookshot to be there.
Yeah, I know, right? It doesn't happen often. It's always surprising though when it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. You said that. Yeah, we know that there's an item he left in here without having fire. So. So Spike Cave, this is in Logic as well.
Yeah, I have Magic Blue Cane. This will be pretty easy to get through, and he'll still have a lot of magic left over.
And where was half magic? She forgot.
It was in Waterfall Fairy with a 300 right before Zoro.
Yeah. Do you think Chulo gets that?
No.
Ooh, fourth sword.
I don't think he gets that sword either. It's possible, but unless the hook shot is just really hard to find, I don't know if he's gonna get that.
Okay, so it looks like James taking this portal. Leads me to believe this is a pod play, maybe. I know.
Yeah, without the flute, this is probably I don't know which time is faster. This is probably a little bit faster.
Oh, that's right. He never got the flute. Well, maybe if hookshot's in purple chest, we never saw that, right?
Oh, we did
Oh,
not.
what
No.
about Hobo?
Oh,
I would love this. I would love this. This is Hobo and Julo like hard last.
That would be awesome. Yeah,
That would actually.
that would be hilarious. But yeah, this makes perfect sense for James to route this way, given that we haven't seen Hobo yet. Just the red boomerang though. But yeah, gonna probably make his way over to pod from here.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like you said, without the flute, this is about as convenient as it gets.
Yeah, and while he's there, he'll be able to mirror and check Eastern. So get to knock out both those dungeons at once.
Yeah, and that's a good bit of knowledge too, being able to do the Hobo on the way instead of wasting time swimming there.
Yeah. James has had some great game knowledge, with that mirror spot. I remember he had bonked the tree just before the portal in Kakariko to get a full magic, before going into the Dark World. So some good game knowledge from James today.
Yeah, definitely playing very well. Just really unfortunate ice rod location. That's kind of the story of the seed so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see Julo going into the back to go fight Moth, and we know there's at least one item back here, but based on the key layout, it could be either the big key or a dungeon item. Wait, no, let's see. Big key, dungeon item, or the actual item. That's right.
Yeah, the one thing James will have to do that Julo didn't have to do is traverse Summit Pod without any type of fire source. The turtle room in the basement can be pretty hectic without a fire rod, at least.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
He's got a decent amount of health, so he should be fine.
I think he's got good health. I think he has I forgot what's in his bottle, but he definitely has medallions, which makes that less painful. And,
yeah.
I know at least one of the runners, I think both runners got the bug net too, is that right?
I don't remember. I feel like we would have called it out, but not exactly sure.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Thanks, Duke. Yeah, he has a blue potion, so yeah, should be relative pretty fine here.
Yeah.
And we saw a map on the Moth today, so the other item is in under the bridge, or it's the big key, which is always fun.
Yeah, I always love, when the game tells you have to route Skullwoods in this way, where you clear the entire front, then you go clear the back, you get the big key, you go back to the front, and it's like 10 arrows.
Yeah, pretty classic.
Oh, hey, there's our 10 arrows instead. At least he didn't have to go back to the front.
You needed to lockpick the big chest to get the big key.
Yeah.
Okay, Moogle, so here's a question. In a seed like this, you get everything that they've done so far, right? You get all 6 crystals that you can, and you have left Mire, Eastern, or Swamp, or a couple garbage overworld checks. What do you do next?
Mire, Eastern, Swamp, or garbage checks? I probably do Mire, given it's the green pendant, and I haven't been to Eastern yet. Julo buying a heart from the cave.
Wait, what was that?
I don't know. Did he not fill up on hearts before he left Link's house or something?
Must have been.
But to get back to your question, I probably do Mire first, because it's 3 items instead of 2. Mire's fairly easy to get through.
Yeah.
And then I could do Eastern and check green pendant on the way. I guess it really depends on what kind of overworld checks I've left behind. Like if they're all one-offs, then yeah, I'm definitely dungeon diving first. What about you?
So I'm just sort of asking, in the main question is, again, once this is after doing all 6 crystals, etc., like when do you check Swamp? When do you prioritize, like maybe it's just in Swamp?
I don't know. I'm always bad at those kinds of things. Like I will last locate my hammer in pod. I'll last locate my hook in Swamp. It's just that's how I tend to run seeds.
Yeah.
You know,
Makes
maybe it's
sense.
my.
I mean, it's easy to
tend
do.
be
Like
more thorough runner.
that's kind of the fun of the game, though. Sometimes, right? Is that these different choices, how they affect gameplay for different players.
For sure, yeah. I mean, like if I had Smith Chain, for instance, left, and I had the book, I could see instead of diving Mire, doing Smith Chain into Bombo's tablet and then going into Swamp. Like that makes sense because then I'm not doing an extra mirror transition, to go into the Dark World just to go into Swamp.
Yeah, right.
It really kind of depends, like what I've chosen to leave behind.
Just basically just full clearing efficiently and giving yourself easier choices in the late game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna last locate no matter what, so it doesn't matter. James doing a great job here in the maze in the dark. It can always get you a little sideways when you start to get knocked around by those Dodongos.
Yeah, that going front to back in that maze, the way he did, basically going back to front to back, like I don't even know how to do it anymore. Too used to like hammer jumping and stuff. But we did see him get his bug net out of the dark maze, so yeah, we can confirm that Jula has that as well.
I guess the question is now, when will they use it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
We've got Gamachu in our chat, so I'm sure he's looking forward to it.
All right, so we saw 2 items so far in ice. I think I don't think it was a big key in the first chest. 3 items? Is that right?
Have we seen all 3 already?
I feel like we have 2 items. So maybe it was like a map or something in the front. Okay, so we got 2 items and a small key. Do you think this is where Julo starts sweating, wondering where hookshot is, if it's hookshot locked?
Probably not. I would imagine he's feeling pretty good after getting that ice rod.
All right, here we go with the
I know
dark
that's
turtles.
something I would feel really good about.
Well, yeah.
I mean, not just because you got the ice
That
rod,
ice
but like you got it that early, and there's still a lot that he's left in the overworld that he's just dungeon clearing, right? So
I think this is the last turtle from James. Did a good job cleaning him up. And yep, there we go.
there we go.
That was very nice. That
Only
room's
lost
hard.
2 hearts. Yeah. Did he even use a medallion?
No.
Yeah.
Well, did he? I don't think he did.
Yeah, that's tough to do. So good job by him.
Yeah, very well done.
So Jula must have found all 3 items, otherwise he wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
Going
Ice
up
Tea was
against that.
$300. So maybe we see a Zora play after this.
Yeah, this would be the time where he gets that half magic. It's an easy mirror and just go check it real fast for 4 checks, especially since he has the money. Simultaneous boss kills.
I got a map on one side and a map on the other side.
Yeah, there we go.
So as far as I could tell, the boss was not hookshot locked in ice. Which doesn't do anything for us logically, since it's not a red crystal or anything, but
Right.
it's information.
So does James do Eastern? No, he doesn't.
No. Okay. Let's think about this. So what does James have left, really? He has Ice Palace.
He has ice, he has the front of Swamp. And
Thieves'
Thieves'
Town,
Town.
right? I think he's done everything else. And Eastern, of course.
Yeah, maybe Graveyard Ledge is still open for him.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he's done. No, he didn't do K45 either because he ended up going to Pyramid Catfish, I believe, instead.
That's right, yeah. I was trying to
those
remember. I
2
know he
mirror
entered
checks-
that portal for sure, and I had forgotten where he went after that.
And purple chest, yeah. So yeah, I think just those couple mirror checks and purple chests outside of the dungeons for James.
Yeah, it's interesting too. As it gets later in the seed, it gets harder and harder to justify full clearing Thieves Town back when you find progression in the front.
Yeah, exactly. If he ends up, well, so he probably will not know that the fire rod is on Desert Ledge because he's not going to go there until he gets the flute.
Oh,
Unless
that's
he
true.
somehow happens upon the book before the flute, which is a possibility, I guess. But
Oh yeah, I guess I never really considered about getting the flute gives you the fire rod. That's duh. I don't know
it's
why I thought
certainly
it was something.
possible that he actually continues on in Thieves Town. It's just knowing that that flute opens up essentially 3 checks because of the Desert Ledge. In Desert, Mire Shed, Checkerboard Cave, and Alamire, like that's where it starts to become hard to justify going to the back of Thieves Town.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, desert's what 2 checks, and what are the red crystals? Pod and desert. So that evens up, opens up 2 more with Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah.
So that's 4 checks plus 3 in Mire. Pyramid Ledge. Yeah, it's a lot up there.
So Julo making the play to the mountain. The one thing that we didn't get to see from James, well, I guess we had Hera Basement, but Turtle Rock, which Julo will have access to. So likely to see that. I can't see Julo doing Hera Basement though. At least not at this stage of the game.
Well, do you think he does it if there's nothing in TR?
Yeah, so it might be afterwards, but I don't think he's doing it now. Oh, he's skipping it completely. So yeah, most runners I think tend to, knowing that they can do Hera Pot, like they'll check the east side of the mountain for a hook shot first, because that'll make Hera much faster.
Yeah, and looks like he's trying to find the hookshot before entering Turtle Rock here, which it makes enough sense. Like if you do find it, you can just go mode Hera, Swamp Palace real quick, and then come back and finish TR. But at the same time, TR is a full clearable crystal. Doesn't take that much longer in go mode. Full clearing versus go mode, like a minute
I think
maybe.
He's probably going to do Paradox given that he's done Spiral Cave, but I think it makes sense to do Spiral Cave at this stage because otherwise then he has to orphan Spike Cave or Spiral Cave, when he's kind of done clearing the mountain. So it's good to get it out of the way first, and then, although it's interesting that he decided to go into the Super Bunny portal when he's going to need to go in the portal again to a rock, but
yeah, that's what I was just wondering. Like, it seems like from this position he's committing to finding the hookshot before entering TR here, or trying to, obviously.
Yeah, I guess what I wouldn't have probably taken the portal. I would have just gone into Paradox, cleared it, go into Turtle Rock, go into the Turtle Rock portal, and then either nice go back to Super Bunny or just clear Turtle Rock and then do Super Bunny Hookshot Cave after.
Yeah, and James had a really nice fight there. Just want to call that out real quick. That 3 quick slashes.
Gold Sword helps.
It's a really nice, yeah. So gets his 4th crystal. What is that? Third crystal here. So, but yeah, I guess I'm thinking of it from Julo's perspective of skip all of this, just do TR, and if the hookshot's there, you're done. Since you're up here in the first place, so you've already committed to coming up here. Might as well do TR since you have to. Is this a fake powder play?
I was gonna say it looks like it's a magic bat play, yeah. I mean, this is the type of play that can bring him back into this. You were talking before about what the hookshot locks, and it's not a ton, right? So if he were to find hookshot here, he can clear Swamp, not find anything there, and then he's still down to just a few of those those checks left.
Yeah, I'd be really curious to see if this is hook shot. Be really interesting. Close enough.
It's funny though, like making this play, it's very possible that he's thinking Thieves Town. Like it's the Thieves Town into purple chest play.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's right. Because he does. I'm thinking he doesn't have. I forgot he doesn't have the flute. So I'm like, oh yeah, he'll just flute to turn in the mushroom
exactly.
afterwards, and then da. Yeah, that's a very good point.
He only had a couple of things left. I think we talked about what the Swamp Palace, Smith Chain, Purple Chests, Thieves Town stuff left. So yeah, it's just the question now of does he clear it or not?
Yeah, because like as you can see here, that's that all those mountain checks took probably 2 minutes to do all that. And if you find it here, it's like you had to do this anyway. And you already committed to being up on the mountain.
And if you're in James's shoes, I actually feel like you do continue on to the back only because you're like, oh man, I missed out on the flute. I could have had this 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, and it's only one item.
You start to think you need a play, right?
Yeah, let's hope for the Immortal team, the Immortals' sake. If you're a fan of the Immortals, you want James to continue here.
Yeah, definitely need him to continue that. Ice Rod is crucial. Jula remembering to go the other side in TR. Nice job by him. And here comes the moment of truth. He's got the mirror out, which is not good.
Oh, he's going. Is he making the play?
He is.
Oh, good for James. Yeah, this is great. Great news. James is making it a race here.
Yeah, making me sweat a little bit, but but yeah, this is
what we all want to see. You know it.
Yeah, he's scared because he's been on this mirror in his menu for a long time, and it's like I'm scared he's just gonna accidentally press it like I would.
Well, technically, he only needs to get the next chest, so
that's true.
Obviously, the lamp is better, and having it does allow you to do things faster in dark rooms.
Yeah, the nice thing is for the dark rooms that he's got left, the safeties will be just fine with the blue cane. So
okay, so now if you're James and you find the ice rod, do you continue?
I don't know, man. Probably.
Do you want the dungeon to keep on giving? Yeah, it looks like it. There's still 3 more items, so he'll find the small key, the lamp, and then the heart piece on blind. Yeah, meanwhile, Turtle Rock coming up empty, it seems, for Julo. But kind of like Pod, there's a lot of keys needed to access the deeper parts of the dungeon, so most of the time...
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Turtle Rock is mullet style, right?
Yeah, it's pretty rare. I like that. I'd never heard that before. Mullet Rock.
Mullet Rock.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty rare for Laser Bridge to not have something like 2 items. You know, to have a key and both dungeon items or something in the back doesn't happen often. Ooh, James got to be careful.
Again, with the game knowledge.
That is really nice. Fake powdering the antifairy there, or the bunny. Excuse me.
The bunny beam, right?
That's good, yeah. Yeah.
How do you leave? No, he's like, there's still items in here.
Yeah.
It's 3 for 3 so far.
Yeah, nice solid 3 items.
Okay, so where does this put the runners? Just sort of thinking about the progression. James has done Spike Cave. He did a dip basically an extra mountain climb in Hera. He finishes Thieves Town if he gets his Fire Rod and does Desert by the time Julo finishes TR. So I think the overall difference will be a couple overworld checks on James' side, whereas Julo and Hera, whereas Julo will have done TR basically.
That sounds about right, yeah. Yeah.
So I think they're within 2 minutes of each other at this point, depending on what we see next. Maybe 3?
Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe a little bit more than that, but definitely within. It's definitely a race now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was really great to see. James got to make his way in there.
The TR having the safety goods.
Yeah,
but not what he wanted.
The second mail. Where was
the second mail?
Was at Hera, right?
Yes, in the compass chest, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. James gonna find his Fire Rod and kind of laugh, or sigh. I'm not sure. He's gonna emote.
At a minimum, he's got to be feeling good about getting that ice rod and not leaving it behind, because
absolutely,
you see that flute, and I'm telling you, oh, should I bail out or?
Yeah, definitely. It almost feels like going into the back of TR at that point is like, either run or like making a play, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, that's what I was describing, right? It's like,
yeah,
you feel when you see the flute, that's when you feel like you're behind, because you left Thieves Town for so late that your play might be going into the back. And now things are just falling in his lap, right? So he's like, oh man, I've got so much open to me now. What do I do?
Yeah, actually, he didn't find anything after those mitts, basically, progression wise. Well, I guess he technically did found the flippers, but that was just in South Shore. So
yeah.
All right, so TR empty.
Yeah, total bust. He'll be making his way now over to. He's probably gonna do Hera, and then
James finds the powder. He already fake powdered. He's over there.
So what does Julo have left? He's got a couple of pendants.
Sorry.
Front of Swamp. Is he going to do Hera Basement, I guess is the question?
Yeah, we're coming up on that scenario that that I asked you about 30 minutes ago or so. Of, six crystals, 2 pendants, and a bunch of garbage.
Yeah.
In Swamp Palace. I think our good friend Gamachu would suggest doing the Smith Chain first. It sounds like
leave the mountain to do Smith Chain before doing Hera Basement, right?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
I personally would probably do Hera Basement in this scenario.
But yeah, actually, from Julo's side, like you said, he has almost nothing left. It doesn't really make sense to skip Hera Basement at this point in the seed.
Yeah, he has nothing good left, right? Everything that he has left on the table is like, oh, do I really want to do that play?
Right. If he was gonna do Eastern, like, why not do it before you do all this stuff and that kind of thing.
Oh, it's the big chest. Excuse me, not the compass chest.
Okay.
Julo's gonna end up with that gold sword though, that I thought he would never get.
Yeah, James taking down Desert.
And Julo taking forever to dash right into the pit. Oh man, that was nice. I feel like he did that just for me.
That was his I'm sorry for not checking Hobo early.
Right. Like we're gonna take our time and line this up just right so we could dash right into the pit. So James making the correct play and getting this small key now.
Yep. Yep.
versus
how you're
earlier,
supposed
the
to
one
do
that you described. Yeah.
That's a good question. Did anyone check Lumberjack? I want to say no. I don't remember it.
We definitely saw Bonk Rocks. I do not remember if we saw Lumberjack.
I think James turned in the Smith, but not Purple Chest, right? Julo did none of the Smith chain, if I remember.
Because James definitely checked Bumper Ledge. That would have been a good time to check it. Yeah, I can't remember seeing it now.
That's true, yeah. Do we have the both mirror checks in the Light World still?
Yeah, Graveyard Ledge and K45, I believe, have not been checked.
Okay.
Julo is making the Hera basement play.
Yeah, this is a thing that I think I would think that James would last location. It's the only check up here left for him besides Turtle Rock. So if he does Hera basement, I believe it would be after Turtle Rock in this situation.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that.
Yeah. So again, when do you go into Swamp Palace? that's kind of the real question. Last.
I've answered this question already. It's
yeah. Okay.
Because it's me, and the hook shot is in left side swamp. It would be last.
Well, if it was on Ped, would you do Swamp before?
Yes, because I don't have the book.
Okay. Man, so I think it was around 18, 19 minutes the last time Julo found progression.
Yeah, it's been a long time for both these runners, up until James made that Thieves Town play.
Yeah, so this is running around the Dark World for 40 minutes.
Yeah, have we seen the mushroom check?
I don't think we have, actually. Just $50. All right, this looks like Swamp Palace to me.
Unless he may do Cave 45 first. I think I would do that too, but yeah, this looks like a... Never mind. Does he? Oh, he does have Pyramid Fairy. Okay, that's right. Pod and Desert.
Yeah.
So James is going to clear up Skull Woods. So at that point, he will essentially be just a TR behind.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think if he has any.
Because he's got some overworld checks on Julo. So
does he though?
He's got the beginning of the Smith sequence. He's got Magic Bat. So I mean, it's stuff that's
say, that's true.
Located in the same spots, but
yeah, I was just trying to remember because I had forgotten about the Magic Bat play.
Yeah,
I guess the mushroom too.
Yeah, and if he hasn't done Lumberjack, yeah, he did Catfish. That's right. Like he may do Skullwoods into checking Lumberjack and Graveyard Ledge. Oh, Mindful Beast making a
that's
front
a good
escape.
one.
Yeah,
gets 20 arrows.
Pulls out the mirror, so this might be the front of escape check.
Okay, yeah. So that's okay. That's another large chunk of time. Because yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. Is like what really is the difference? It's not like they routed that differently, efficiency wise.
Yeah, so Julo continuing to spend time doing things that James has already done. James getting crucial minutes to be able to catch up, which is good for the Immortals here. I guess the question is, what does James do next? I think it'll end up being to go check Graveyard Ledge after this. The mountain is enticing though. Now he can full clear Turtle Rock. It's like the seed. It would make me go all the way back up to Turtle Rock to get that hook.
That's a good point. Yeah, if he chooses not to go to Turtle Rock until the end of the seed, could make up a little bit of time not climbing the mountain an extra time. I guess it wouldn't be making up time. It would be time neutral.
Well, actually, a little bit of a save because Jula had to go the other way. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess also he cleared Hera too. So
Yeah, and
Hard to say.
he full cleared Turtle Rock, which yeah, which could save about a minute or so, like we were saying earlier.
Yeah, with the big chest and Mimic Cave and that type of stuff.
There's your 10 arrows in Skull Woods, your favorite 10 arrows.
Yeah, at least they weren't in the big chest, right?
Yeah. Okay.
James mirroring and pulling out the flute. This is probably a flute to one, I would guess. Yeah.
Yeah. From his perspective, it makes sense. That you need to do crystals, so go do them. We know
Definitely.
that the answer won't be waiting for him up here, so but he will be catching up a bit. Oh, just got to be careful. Get these spin speeds. He's been kind of nailing the tech and doing good stuff.
Yeah.
His play today.
Definitely. Yeah, I think from his perspective, it's like my last couple pieces of progression were, oddly enough, it was the ice rod and then the fire rod. So he could follow that flute into Mire, after getting that fire rod, or he can go clear crystal that he needs to clear anyway.
Yeah, that's true. He just got both rods like at the same time. Hey, at least he didn't dip TR looking for either one, right?
Right, yes. It always sucks finding rods in TR. It's like my week 2 match was the fire rod in Mimic Cave with the ice rod in the front of TR. That was fun.
Sorry, what was there?
The fire rod was in Mimic Cave with the ice rod in the front of Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, thanks, Seed. That was pretty close to last location for me.
Yeah, that's a hard one to commit to. It's not like we've seen seeds where both rods were on Laser Bridge.
Right.
Fun ones like that.
Yeah. Julo making his way all the way to Catfish, so still not going to find his hook shot. So he's got basically what, Smith Chain and the dungeons left. Those 3 dungeons.
Yeah, Meyer Eastern. It's always pedestal. Hey, it's silvers. I guess we didn't see Catfish earlier.
What did James do? Oh, he did the front of escape with
That's
the
right.
pyramid. That's right.
Yep.
Julo going to get a refill on health. So this is
And
going to
cash?
be a Meyer play, I would guess.
Yeah, probably right because you got a
No.
Smith chain.
Okay. Because they take so much health, right?
Yeah, you need to refill your hearts. I mean, that's why he bought that other heart earlier before going to Ice Palace.
Right. Exactly, yeah. So this might be the Smith Chain into the front of Swamp then. I guess Graveyard Ledge first.
Oh yeah, he did find a cape.
He knows what's on Bumper Cave though.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure
yeah.
he does.
That's true.
So if this was you running, you would have been done by now. Because I think you would have been in Mire a long time ago, right?
I honestly might have done Mire before any crystal dungeon. Like finding that loaded of a Thieves' Town, like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know when I would have made the play. Whether Mire has it or not, obviously, but it's like you get the flute, and you're like, okay, I got to follow the flute, and you find the fire rod, and you're like, all right. So the fire rod was my next piece of progression. Is it in Skullwoods? No, but I also have the ice rod. Might as well go clear Turtle Rock. Like the flute already served its purpose, right, by allowing you to clear desert and Skullwoods and Turtle Rock. So Yeah, I would have last located it just like these guys probably.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the command earlier. I think what I wanted to say though, while we go through and clean up the rest of these checks, a few things that the runners are doing now. Just want to give a shout out and go ahead and say if you're enjoying the race, go ahead and give these runners a follow. Their Twitch links are in chat. If you're enjoying the clown routing from Julo and the execution and game knowledge from James, give them a follow.
Yeah, this has been a good race.
Yeah, very good. Excellent play from James to go into Thieves Down too. He did. Oops, getting vacuumed into the door.
Yeah.
Door mechanics in this game.
Yeah, saying screw you, fairy. I'm just gonna leave now. So Julo doing some of the cleanup that James has done, except for the purple chest here. So, so there will be a couple of new checks after this that we haven't seen yet, and James will be, pretty caught up after that.
Yeah, that's true. Once he gets through here, he's got what, Laser Bridge, Trinex, and then otherwise Julo's only lead in terms of checks is the purple chest, I want to say.
Yeah, purple chest, and I guess catfish.
Oh, catfish.
Oh, and graveyard ledge. So, yeah, some of these older checks. So if it's
in a
dungeon, right? Yeah, it doesn't exist. But like if it's an Eastern or something, and James goes right there, like
that's true. Yeah, we're getting to close to those 50-50 type plays starting to matter. I don't know. It feels to me though sort of like one of those things where if hookshot was early, it would have been more important to the seed logic. I don't know. Like if the game was like, hey, find this hookshot super early, but then never use it again until the final boss,
Right. Yeah.
The seeds don't tend to roll like that usually.
Yeah, like there's typically something in the back of swamp or like behind hookshot lock ice palace or something.
Yeah. All right, we got purple chest. What's next? What do you think? This is.
I think Julo's going into swamp. You save your portal like this to specifically go into swamp palace.
Yeah, because he could have fluted otherwise, huh? All right, we could see a shift in momentum here if it's not in swamp palace. Depending on what James does, of course.
Yeah, given some of the stuff that James has done, like Magic Bat, he's already done Smith and Hammer Pegs. Like he may just say purple chest doesn't exist and go straight to swamp without turning it in or something. Perfectly reasonable play at this juncture.
Yeah, he's definitely some of the stuff he's done has pretty hard orphaned a lot of checks that are really hard, well, at this point, impossible to route in efficiently. The only way to do them is to go out of your way to do them. So, depends on how he likes to play. I'm not sure, but if he just says, you know what, these checks are dead until their last location at this point.
Yeah, like the only, let's say, reasonable is not the right word, but the only play that he might consider. Ooh, is this the Hera basement play?
Ooh, it has to be, right?
That was the one that he skipped. Yeah. What I was gonna say is like Graveyard Legend to Catfish is like it's okay. It never feels good to make that play, but that's one that you're at least chaining two things together.
Yeah, if you're ever gonna do either of them at this point in the seed, you do them both at once.
Right. Yeah.
What would you do?
So,
I don't know.
James gonna give a minute or so back, which is unfortunate. But Julo still has not found it, so we are still in a race.
So are you starting to sweat yet for your teammate?
Oh, I mean, we had like hook mode, literally 45 minutes ago or something. Yeah, I don't even remember at this point. Like
I think it was like 18 minutes in, like actually.
I've
been 18 minutes in.
Sweating for a little while now.
Yeah,
As soon as James decided to go to the Thieves Town attic, it's been here we go.
Yeah, I think Julo was in hookshot mode literally 18 minutes into the seed.
Yeah, it was pretty early. As soon as he found those mitts, right?
Yeah, he found the mitts and then he found bombos immediately after that, and he was in hookshot mode.
All right, so what's James' play?
If he goes into swamp, he's behind. I mean, obviously he doesn't know that, but
he's got Pyramid Fairy now too.
That's true. Yeah. Pyramid Fairy, swamp, Mire, Eastern, kind of his major. Those are his major plays.
Yeah, like unfortunately,
everything else is kind of just awful.
Yeah, like with some of the item placement here, like to some degree, you were going to get some linear play, by doing these checks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so
and he still hasn't done catfish.
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy, catfish, I guess. Yeah, then you got to make another choice. All right, moment of truth. Here we go. The left side of swamp.
Ooh, that's a nice map.
Nice map. Now he can know if it's a crystal or not.
Speaking of which, we have that little C up there in the left-hand corner of the
screen. Oh yeah.
Some great coding by the devs with the latest update to let us know if it's a crystal or a pendant. As we walk into a dungeon in a regular non-key sanity mode. So nice job by the devs there on that.
Yeah, I think it's great. And it's not here.
Swamp. Paying out, literally, with $300.
Now we can fill the empty bottle that he got on Purple Chest.
Where to, Julo? Is this the Eastern play that you wish you had made at the 1 minute mark?
I think it is. Oh, it's Julo going to his favorite dungeon. Okay, so this could be a swing if James decides to hit up Mire next year. I mean, we still have ped of it. We've had ped available since what, 13 minutes into the seed?
I can go back at the tape and see when you mentioned it, but it was probably around that time where you said, "Hey, you know what? We could have hook on ped." And I told you to be quiet and don't ever mention that again.
You were just like, "Please stop!" Like,
yeah. Nobody needs that. So yeah, if James makes the Mire play, Jula will be roughly, I guess at this point, 2 checks into Eastern. James not saying no to those silvers.
Yeah, what does James do? You can't go clean up Overworld at this point, right? It just feels so inefficient.
No, you're getting to the point where you're like, all right, I need to make a play.
He's going to Eastern.
So unfortunately, he'll continue to just be following in Julo's footsteps.
Yeah, just a little bit here. If he does swamp last, he'll save the time it took Julo to do left side swamp, basically.
Yeah.
But he has orphaned a couple checks that, as long as he doesn't go back for those, he'll still be close. So that's at least 2 items in Eastern. I missed what the second chest was. I know the first was like a 20, that was 10 bombs. Oh, it must have been the big key. There's our map.
Wow. This seed, man. Because you mentioned the 18-minute mark. We're basically an hour in hook mode.
Yeah, I think it was around 18 minutes when they got there.
And ped is becoming, a much higher probability with every single check that goes by. We went from minuscule probability to, double-digit percentage.
Yeah, it's got to be at least what there's one. From what we know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 checks that aren't ped. I think so. 20% chance of ped now. which is pretty crazy.
And wait a minute, we still don't know if we've seen the lumberjack check.
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. So 1
I
and
can't
6.
remember. We may have, but
I don't think we did. Because I think they both routed CAC differently, but no one ever went up north, from what I remember.
in chat asking about spoiler seeing go mode at a 25-minute. Yeah, go mode would probably in this type of seed would have happened very quick given the early item layout there, where Julo basically had everything he needed except for hook at the 18-minute mark. So after that would have been a beeline for that hook shot and finish up the seed.
Oh, that wasn't the third item. So Julo's going for Ped.
You at this point, do you turn in the green pendant first, or do you do Ped then? James has left. James left.
Yeah,
So
James got 3 items and left.
where's he going? Oh, he's going to Swamp.
Oh, he's going to Swamp. Okay.
That's
I mean, he made a play, it didn't pay off, and
yeah.
So yeah. What if the hook shot's not in the seed? What if they accidentally replace it with the green 20?
And then I'm trying to ping Sinak probably.
Okay. Yeah.
To ask what's going on. What did Sahabat do? Julo finally making the Meyer play. I will say this is something I said I would have done a long time ago. You were like, you got 6 crystals, you got all this random stuff, pendant dungeons. What do you do first? I said Meyer.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So I'm hoping that I'm right. So at least I have a leg up on Julo somewhere.
Yeah, I think you would have beat Julo by 10 minutes or so. We're getting
the only person I care about beating is Gamanchu though. So.
We're just getting estimates in chat of how much everyone would have beat Julo, knowing what they know now, after they know where the answer is not.
Yeah, just unfortunate.
Oh look, there's the hook shot. Okay, game. Thanks, game.
Yeah. Yeah, just unfortunate there for James. He had 3 choices, picked the wrong ones twice, just like Julo did, but just following in his footsteps. So, hopefully he nopes out here after the compass chest instead of going full left. But I think at this stage of the game, you're just like, you're committing.
Yeah. If he had gone Meyer instead of Eastern, they would have been in here. Pretty within about a minute of each other. So
well, they actually mirrored out of East. Well, he mirrored out of Eastern, but Julo got the crystal or the pendant. So
yeah,
that would have been within seconds.
But from what we saw though, Julo skipped Eastern after doing pod. Then at some point went to Swamp, fluted back to Eastern to do Eastern before fluting to Meyer first.
Yeah, we're gonna have to ask him about why he chose the order he did.
I think he just really likes Eastern.
He does. This is a fact.
Yeah, I think he was looking for more shields. Actually, we'll have to ask him to make sure. Because he just got hit there. Like he wouldn't have got hit if he had the fire shield or the mirror shield.
You know what, the argument you're making, I can't argue against it.
He knows it too, because remember he bought that heart earlier. He likes to be at full hearts. He likes sword beams and he likes having the mirror shield. So makes sense why he would go to Eastern first.
Yeah. So James continuing on in Swamp Palace. It's the right play when you're here.
Yeah, at this point, for sure.
Just unfortunate. Yeah.
All right, getting a little bit of fluff from Julo there. 2 quick checks.
Let's see. Red mail, half magic, bug net,
10
silvers, cape, blue cane. Yeah, 11 hearts now. I don't, opening those 2 chests, it's expected of him. He's got literally every safety except for the heart containers.
Yeah, now he has 11 though, so be extra safe.
So when we opened up the broadcast here, we were talking about how volatile open mode is, and like this seed is like the perfect example of that, right?
Oh, absolutely. This yeah. We've played in plenty of qualifiers for different tournaments, and sorry, real quick, this is the 7th crystal now. So Julo with his 7th crystal, we have a little game we like to play as he makes his way to Ganon's tower. There's 22 locations where Ganon's tower big key can be. So if you want to put your guess in chat of where you think it might be, we'll ask you where it was later, since we'll probably both forget to count. And
Unless it's 22.
Unless it's 22. And then we'll call you out and say congratulations, you were correct. And it also looks like we're getting a prediction in chat. So feel free to use your channel points on that as well. Okay, sorry. Back to your point. Open mode being volatile. Yeah, so we've played in plenty of qualifiers for different tournaments and these kinds of things. And there's definitely complaints that go both ways on a seed like this. When you have 150 people racing a seed like this, that guaranteed the top 5 at least are going to make this a sub 60-minute seed, right?
100%.
And then the rest of the people, who end up with an hour and a half, etc. times, are going to have 50, 60 points on their scores for that. And then the next seed that we get is going to be like an all dungeons, hour 40-minute best time finisher seed, etc., and everyone's going to have greatness scores. So it's fun to see how much difference you can get in different seeds depending on the item layout. It makes this game really cool, really fun to play.
For sure. There was a qualifier I played, and it was like in the middle of the night for me, I feel like, where the top 5, like the 5th place time was like a 144, 145.
Oh wow!
By like someone like Lynn, like a top runner, right? And you just the variance between seeds, between modes, it's pretty wild, and like you said, it makes this game great.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Julo's going left first, and it's the wrong size key, but it is 1. What's your normal guess? I usually guess 1.
It's like in the upper single digits. I'll go with like 7.
Okay.
But I kind of want to see a 22 just for fun.
Yeah. Just because the seed was so free, right?
Yeah. Oh, we called out going to Meyer like an hour ago. So.
Hey, Julo got his 2nd shield. Oh, there's his 3rd shield too. I bet that's why he went left first.
Yes. Julo is happy. He's got every possible safety he could ever need. He's got a couple keys going to right side, hoping to find the big key. Oh,
there's it. And he opens the next chest.
Okay. For
that 13th art. Wait, why did he open that other chest? He had 2 small keys.
I don't know. It's funny because I was talking earlier in a Discord channel about how in Hope Room, like, you don't open the left chest first, okay? Like, if you have the hook shot, go open the right chest first, hook over to the left, and then go down. And, I think Julo rubbing it in my face, opening the left chest first to get the big key, and then opening the right chest, but, it is what it is. But let this be my PSA. Please, in Hope Room, open the right chest first, everybody, okay?
Agreed. And that was check number 6. So shout outs to a parked car 877 for guessing 6. Congratulations. You guessed correctly.
It's a good name. A parked car.
Yeah, I like it.
It's kind of like homemade beer. You know exactly what it is. You just, like you're a brewmaster probably. Nobody needs to know anything about you, but with a name like homemade beer, it's like, oh, this guy, he's got to be making his own beer. It's got to be good. Probably makes a lot of different types of beers.
Well, everyone does ask. That's like, first question is like, do you make beer? Like, no, but I used to. All right, so we got Julo finishing the gauntlet, land mode 2. James about to do diver down, and so this is a pretty big difference in time. I want to say about 4 minutes, maybe 5 here now at this point. So a lot of room to make up here for James.
Yeah, it has an opportunity to make up some time here and there. If he goes to Hope Room first, he'll be able to get that big key and not have to go all the way to DM Room, but he'd sacrifice all those shields, which would suck for him. But I just, like, all said and done, like, we didn't know if James would actually make that play into Thieves Town.
Yeah, that was a bigger play, actually.
Yeah, we didn't know if it would actually turn into a race or not at that point. So for us to be at the point now where it actually was close is very commendable.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Julo skipping the mini helmet chest. I'm a bit surprised by that.
Just trying to be unpredictable, like we all thought he would be.
Like we predicted he would.
Yeah, I'm gonna open the right chest of Hope Room after getting the big key, but I'm not gonna do the mini helmet chest upstairs.
Yeah, makes sense.
But he has his shields now, so
that's true. He does have his shields, so I think he's fine. And that's the 7th crystal for James.
Crystal.
Yep. But yeah, if James does get the big key early, he will not get his other shields. So. Yeah, what a funny seed. Yeah, if they had done Meyer at any point early, it would have been probably sub 20-minute go mode with 7 crystals left. So yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of routing, like, everything made sense up through the mountain. Like, you have the ability to full clear Hera, full clear to a rock, do all your light and dark Death Mountain checks. Like, there's so much stuff to do. All that makes sense. It just, when you get down to that scenario that you laid out earlier in the seed, like, Meyer just made a lot of sense just because of the dungeon it is. It's fairly easy to get in and out. It had 3 checks behind it instead of the normal 2.
And where the hookshot was.
Yeah, but all that's, hindsight's 2020, right?
Yep.
When you're actually racing the seed, you got things going through your head too, like, oh man, I bet my opponent went to Meyer. Like, Meyer's the easy play. I'm not gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of which, do you think both of these runners, like, at this point in the seed are wondering, like, where the heck is that dot done from my opponent?
Oh, I probably would be at that point, yeah.
Yeah. I think, yeah, because Julo basically full cleared the seed. I want to say he had the rest of the checks in Meyer, and is that it?
Yeah, I think so. Like, given when they went to Desert, like, it was a perfectly reasonable play to go into Meyer at that point.
Yep. All right, we get Heart from James, and he will get his big key on 2, but now needs to go get a small key. And we'll find one in the torch, so we'll save that door transition. As we see 2 silvers into Ganon so far from Julo. Very nicely done.
And 2 more. There we go. So just need to cross the bridge. Get your GGs in chat for Julo Ninja.
Yeah, and for James just starting his climb. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Julo finishing in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 1:32.57. GG's to him.
Yeah, GG's. And I was going to point out as well, like James is just starting his climb now, but I always feel like as a player, it feels like an okay race, even if you lose if you're in GT by the time your opponent finishes.
Yeah, definitely could. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, if I would have done like this play or that play, like we would have been tied or would have been really close or something like that. So
yeah,
I totally agree. And we are joined in the commentary booth by Julo Ninja. Julo, GG's. Nice seat, huh?
Yeah.
What time were you in hook mode exactly?
About 22 minutes.
22, okay. So we thought
okay.
it was like around the 18 mark, but something like that.
Yeah.
So a full hour went by.
Yep.
So, I have a question then. Which shield were you happier to see in GM's room?
The mirror shield, obviously.
Did you think you were going to find both there, though?
No. But if I didn't, I was going to open more chests upstairs.
So that explains it.
We are curious why you opened the right chest of Hope Room.
Oh, I just felt like fluffing that chest.
Okay, that's what we figured.
So actually okay.
So getting back to this seed, I'm a little curious. We were hypothesizing why did you make the Eastern play when you did before Meyer? Any particular reason behind that?
Look, I mean, I was hoping it wasn't Maya because I'd already skipped it, and Maya checks, aside from like the first two, are not fast. Eastern is faster, so certain people in chat that said Maya's so fast are wrong. And if Vidi has the other item, then it's like 5 minutes for 3 instead of like 2.5 for 3 in Eastern.
But so when you did do Eastern, though, you were all in on if Ped had it at that point, right?
Yeah, I killed Amos because I had Maya and pendant stuff and lumberjacks. I'm like, let's just kill Amos.
You did still have lumberjack left. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't check it.
We didn't know if either runner had checked it. If James had done it, it was super early on, but it was like we were getting to the point where you literally had like mid-single digit checks left across the two of you, and it was like, was lumberjack in that list or not? We didn't know.
Yeah, I don't. We'll have to ask James when he comes in, but I don't remember him ever checking it either.
I had no good opportunity to check it because of how my starting route worked out, really.
Yeah, Moogle had some questions about that.
Yeah, where was the hobo check? You told me you were going to do the dam into hobo. Now, I figured you got the hammer, so it's like, okay, let's just check mini Moldrum Cave on the way. But then you didn't do hobo till like way later.
I mean, I still did it.
Well, James did hobo way before you did.
That's true.
Yeah, but I wanted to mess with you. Like, I'll tell Moogle something. It's not because I got flippers. I'm like, I could just route into Kakariko from the Ice Rock Cave, so why not? Have the sickest route in existence.
Yeah. I was like, I have no idea where he's going. I'm so confused at this point.
Yeah, we basically said that was a guaranteed team meeting after this race, so.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can find many more things to grill Moogle on, so it's fine.
James finishing up his Agatu fight, about to jump into Ganon and finish this one out. So yeah, Julo, getting this win puts us in the playoffs. How does that make you feel?
It's nice to make playoffs. Yeah, hopefully we just get more wins than Skull Kids, or we beat them alphabetically.
That's always the goal, I think. So.
Alphabetically.
Yup. Yeah, make them change their team name for next season.
Yeah, so I know I've got my other match with Duke, who I've seen in chat. I've got my match with him tomorrow morning. After that, I think you and me, Jula, we got a pretty easy match next week up against Swirly Coin Brewing. I don't know if I've heard of those guys, but
Yeah, I heard they're new.
yeah, I think we'll take a couple off of those guys, more than likely.
Yeah, that should be an interesting one.
Should take notes on my routing. I'm sure they can't imitate it, but I'm here to help.
Yeah,
wait a minute,
yeah,
they
we're taking notes on last locationing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have this guy Homemade Beer on their team.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, get your GGs in chat for James F and X. 4 silvers into Ganon and has to cross the bridge.
GG's to James.
GGs to James.
And he finishes with an official race time.gg time of 1:39.29. GG's again to James. See if we can get him here in the commentary booth as well. And speaking of the devil, there he is. James, GG's.
GG's.
GG's. So I had one major question for James. I think everyone was thinking, when you went into Thieves Town and you found your flute, what motivated you to continue on? Which was a great play. Was just curious about what was going on in your mind at that point.
Oh, at that point, flute makes pedestal a possibility, and I'm still looking for hookshot, both rods, and the flute, and I just got the flute. So all 3 of the items that I'm looking for can be on pedestal, so there's no reason not to just finish it out.
See, Moogle? Pedestal.
Homemade Beer made the mention of pedestal at like the 12-minute mark or something. He's like, you know what? We've got all these items. Pedestal is actually a thing potentially. I was like, no, stop talking about it now. Yeah, when you made that play, James, we were like, I thought that you were much more likely to make the play given the fact that you saved Thieves Town for so late. So for you to kind of continue through, it was really good by you.
Especially with only 1 item in front too.
Yeah, from my perspective, it's more like it's the flute, and the flute opens up so much that it's so easy to just mirror and leave. And at that point, that would be like obvious GGs, just because like last locating your ice rod in Thieves Town attic when it's a pendant is just like that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up being a hookshot being just as bad, but
right, yeah.
Like this was a very winnable race. It was a very losable race by like 30 minutes if Julo decides to hop in a mire, and very winnable for me if I decide to hop in a mire when I go to desert after getting the flute. Just didn't make that decision.
Yeah, you guys were actually in Eastern at the same time. Julo was fighting Armos and got his crystal when you mirrored out at Eastern. So if you both go to mire at that point, it's a very close race.
Yeah, for sure. I probably get executed at that point, but if I get the flute and just immediately decide to stay in mire or go and check mire, which with it being 3 items, I probably should have. It was probably just as dense as anything else, but hindsight's 20/20.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially in a game like this. Yeah, it was a really interesting seed. When it opened up, I think you both opened up similarly from Link's house and got your hammer, and then your play into Dark World early actually worked pretty well for you.
I was
getting everything you did.
Yeah, when I could have done a very normal route. I know Julo is known for some creative routing at times. So I decided to be a little creative and just stick around and check out Village Outcasts and got mitts quickly. And that's why I kind of just skipped these time that first trip, is because I had so much to do and I found the mitts, and I could get back there very quickly at that point.
Yeah, every play you were making early on made a lot of sense. It was funny because we were wondering when you were finally going to do South Shore, because like you had done, you had gone to all these different places and found so many great things that it was like there was no real reason to actually check it, until you did. So yeah, you were much later to the flippers than Jula was, but you already had so many things. So yeah, it made sense.
Yeah, and flippers didn't really block anything in the seat, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
Yeah, I think just like half magic.
Yeah, which whatever. I'm like, I think I played pretty well. Like, it's just a matter of who makes the decision to go on Mare first, and Julo did, and Julo won. So, I'm not disappointed with how I played. There have been races this season where I have been disappointed. This was not one of them.
Yeah, definitely. Was noticing in when I did like calling out, your certain plays, like certain kind of game knowledge and things you were doing, like powdering the bunny beam and back at Thieves Town when you got hit by the Zazak, and even though you had fake powdered it at the time, stuff like that. Just knowing a lot about the game helps for sure, and you definitely showed that off tonight.
Yeah, my execution isn't to a lot of the runners in here, but I'm no simpleton, that's for sure.
Any other questions, Beer, or should we wrap this up?
No, I just thought that was a great race. Glad I got to calm with you and enjoyed both of these runners playing.
Yeah, same here. You guys put on a great show. I was mentioning earlier, James. So we've got round 2 of this matchup between the Immortals and Mogliacci tomorrow. I believe it's early afternoon, maybe late morning here in the U.S. between myself and Duke Firebird. So I'll be going for the 2-0. Duke will look to put me in my place, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it was great calming with you as well. GG's again to our runners. Please give our runners a follow, everybody. James FNX and Jula Ninja put on a great show again for everybody, and I think that'll wrap us up.